Hi, I'm Rachael Williams and you're watching me live on Hip Hop Inquirer magazine in Atlanta, and I'm representing all the female ladies in the UK. My experience in Atlanta, it's been amazing. Everyone's just welcomed me. This is my second time here. The first time I came and it was just a girls' holiday like we do when we go down to Miami and we chill at the beach. But this has been amazing. I was here for the International Music Conference and it's such a positive task that's happening out here in terms of bringing out aspiring young people into the mainstream music industry. And it's very different for me as a model to be around that, but to see young people being inspired and who have the motivation to want to achieve and do well is very uplifting for me. So I'm so thankful to be here for this event. I think there has been many things that stood out for me. I was able to sit in on the actual workshops and listen to the artists and the producers give their talk about their life, give their story, and I found that to be I was able to relate to that, even as a model, because it shows you how much you've got to go through, how many doors you've got to keep knocking on, how much rejection that you get in your early stages. But then once you reach the top, it's such a great feeling to have, and you know that you've worked so hard to get there and do it yourself. So I think in that it's been a wonderful experience for me, and I know that everyone that came and attended, they managed to get something from that as well. So I'm just so pleased. I had many obstacles when I started modelling. I started when I was 19 and I went into Miss England in 2007, and for me it was very, very difficult because I was bigger than what I was, I'm dark skinned and I live in London. So I had many things going against me for the wrong reasons, but it was going against me in terms of the fashion industry. But I was able to work through it. I went to all the agencies in London, all 30 of them. I'm sure there's more now. And they all said no to me. Their reasons were, you're too dark, you're too fat, your hair's too afro, you wouldn't work in London, just many, many excuses. They even told me that my face was too symmetrical or I was too beautiful to be a model, which questions what I thought modelling was all about. So those were my initial obstacles that I did have, and rejection is a very, very big thing. And it's not just in the modelling industry, it is in music as well, and more music, fashion, entertainment. So those are the obstacles, and those are obstacles that I had initially. But I feel that as I've grown as a model into a businesswoman, there's many obstacles now that I face in the business world, because men walk around thinking, oh, it's a man's world, but you know, ladies, we got it. So I mean, it's good that there's more women coming up and there's more women aspiring to achieve and do more, and that's what gives me my confidence and that's what keeps me going. So I know there's going to be many more obstacles to come, but I'm ready for them. My modelling inspirations coming from the UK, I'd have to say, is Naomi Campbell. For certain things, she was able to break it as a London-based girl. She lived in Streatham, which is not too far from my hometown. So seeing that she could do it, even if it was back in the 80s, it gave me more motivation to know that I could do it myself. But there's been other models around my time, i.e. Jordan Dunn, Chanel Iman, and they've been breaking it in New York and in London. So I'm not saying I aspire to be like them, because I do think that the industry, they only allow a certain amount of people in at one time. So I've gone to agencies before and they would say, well, we've already got one black girl on our book, we don't need another one. So for them it's like, you know, we just have the one and that's that. And that's it. So it hurts, but that's, like I said, it's rejection. But it's just the way it works at the moment. It's just the way it is. And I know that back in the day you had Tyra Banks and you had Naomi Campbell, and I'm sure they did go through something like that, but it was more open then. I do feel it is getting better, but I think it's going to take a bit more time. Okay, in preparation for a go-see, we call it castings in the UK. Number one, research what the company is. So if you're going to a casting for a leg, you know, hair removal cream, you know you've got to have nice legs. So research about the company, look at their previous advertisements, see how the girls pose, how they use their legs, make sure your legs are hair free. That's a preparation you need to have. Also, make sure you plan where you're going. You can never be late. Otherwise, they will turn you around. Otherwise, or they'll see another girl in front of you and you'll be put to the back of the queue, or you could just miss out on your opportunity. So make sure you plan well ahead. You know where you're going. If you need a map, carry a map. We've all got Blackberries now, so download Google Map. That's number 2. Number 3, make sure you're well groomed and well presented. As a model, you're selling yourself at the end of the day. And if it's for a hand commercial, a teeth commercial, a hair or a leg, your whole body needs to be perfect to an extent, because they're going to look at you and take you as a whole package, and there may be another job in there for you as well. So make sure you look very, very good in terms of your presentation, how you carry yourself. Number 4, always be professional. Always be professional. You never know who's going to be in the casting room with you. So when you go in there, well, in my experience, I know when I go to castings, you hear a lot of girls bitching about one another, or they're eyeing up the next girl next to them, or they're not being nice to the lady on reception. That lady in reception could be the person who says, look, this girl, she sat there, she carries herself well, she looks very confident, and she could pass over a good, she could pass over your name to the casting director. So make sure you're always professional within the casting room. Number 5, always carry your portfolio. That's a big issue in London. I've even got mine with me now as I do this interview, but always carry your portfolio with you. You never know who you're going to meet along the way. There could be someone who's scouting for a job or for an agency. Also within the casting room, they're going to ask, can we see what you look like when you take your pictures? They also may ask you to do a catwalk as well, so always wear heels. So important things is carrying your portfolio and wearing heels as well. I think Miss Black Britain to me means a lady who's not afraid of her race, who's strong within herself, and who can represent for black women in London. Now, that's been something that I've had to uphold over the past few years, because if you have a title like that, people expect you to be the best, you know, the top black woman in Britain in itself. So it's just about having to carry yourself in a good manner, to always be professional, to always be ladylike, have good etiquette, good posture in sitting, even minute things like that, dressing well, very well presented, a good attitude, and also you're representing your country as well. So you need to be able to speak to many different types of people. It's a whole range of things. It's a whole range of things. But the main reason why I enjoy my title is that I get to speak to younger girls about growing up in London, becoming a model, how to be inspired, how to, you know. So I think, to me, it's just about positivity and giving back to younger girls.